James was born on May 21st, 1997, and since he was the firstborn male, he was the pride and joy of his parents. He was an extremely physically healthy baby, weighing in at 9 pounds 4 ounces and was 21.5 inches long, but with a prevalence rate of 1 in 10,000, nobody could have predicted he would be born transgender. Before his 7th birthday, he began to notice a tension within himself, a struggle that pulled him in two directions, one to be a little boy and please his parents, and another to act like a girl and relieve his anxiety. As most children do, he noticed the cultural standards that little boys wear blue and play sports, and little girls wear pink and love dressing up. This tension began to overwhelm him and sent his mind into a blurry spiral of gender identity and sexual orientation. His parents viewed his behavior as simply a phase and refused to acknowledge or attempt to understand how he was feeling inside. His young mind was unable to find a solution, so he decided to ignore his inner feelings and do what he thought his parents wanted. However, he was not the most masculine boy and was often ridiculed and beat up for his feminine tendencies. He regularly showed up to school and home with bruises, but his parents and teachers ignored them and chalked them up to bullying or rough play. James prayed for a normal childhood where he could run and play with his friends, but felt very alone because he had no friends who could possibly understand what he was going through. He eventually made an attempt to speak with his father about his situation, but was simply yelled at and told to stop acting like a little girl. He began to feel isolated and detached and spent several hours every day crying alone in his room or wherever he could. He made a second attempt at getting help by talking to his mother, but she was just as cold as his father and told him to be a man. James was beginning to feel more and more detached, unloved, and unwanted, and was running out of options. He regularly contemplated suicide because he felt nothing could be as bad as the life he was living now, and it would make his parents happy to see him gone. However, one day while he was on the computer, he stumbled upon a website for an organization called True Colors. He began to research his situation and learned that he was not alone as he originally thought, and there were hundreds of stories of children being born boys but feeling like girls. He learned the opposite was true as well. Some children born girls really felt like boys. This information lifted a huge weight off his shoulders, but still had the task of getting his parents to understand. James sought help from a professional from True Colors to try and help his parents understand that every human is different and every human should have equal rights. Through specialized counseling and guidance, his parents came around so much that they not only tolerated him, but they helped him through his very difficult time. His parents learned to embrace their child's differences and did everything in their power to support the transition because they finally understood how difficult it really was and that it was impossible to do alone. They didn't want their child to be the victim of bullying or hate crimes, so they decided it would be much better to show him love and support rather than isolation and hate, which could eventually lead to his death. James became Jamie and was finally able to live a semi-normal childhood with friends and fun. Although she knew her struggle was far from over, she was just happy to be alive and have the support she did. Thank you.